Old Man River, that old man river.
Welcome to Fresh Fishing. I'm Martin, aka Old Man River, and after 50 years of serving in the army and working for the MOD, I've retired and I'm ready to get out and do plenty of fishing. In this series, follow me whilst I vlog my fishing trips around the northeast. Each video will be a mix of 2 or 3 sessions combined. Hope you enjoy the content. Good morning everyone and welcome to Retirement Sessions 2023. Today I'm back at Southfield. I'm chasing that elusive 20. The weather's been warmer over the last couple of weeks as you all are aware. Been wet and warm and it's quite mild today. It was quite mild overnight, 4 or 5 degrees. It's 11 degrees today here at Southfield. So I'm feeling that we've got a chance of getting something on the bank. But this time of year, you never know whether they're switched on and feeding or they're just cruising around as normal and life's going on, or the bait's passing by them as it has been over the last few sessions. I'm back at the top end of Pond B today. I've had the most fish from this end. I've had an upper double from this end. I've had an upper double from the far end, the bottom end, and I've had, I think, about 10 or 12 pounder from the middle of the lake. So this has been the most successful area for me, and that's why I keep coming back here, chasing that 20. In summer, I might well concentrate on the middle of the lake again and see how that goes. But for today, back at the top end. I've had my rods in since 20 past 9. It's, what is it now? It's 10 to 10, so I arrived just after 8 o'clock, spoke to the lady. She gave me an update. Nobody's been fishing since the weekend. There were some people here over the weekend and a couple of fish were caught, but nothing to write home about, apparently. Rigs wise, I've got on my left hand rod, which is over in the usual snag area, I've got a lead clip with a Parker Baits OG Fish wafter on it. Center rod, I've got straight across under another tree, which is in a sort of snag area, and that's got a Parker Baits a pop-up on it. I thought I'd try that. It's a white pop-up, see if that makes any difference. And then on my right hand rod, opposite to peg 1, the disabled peg, about 2 foot off it, I've got the good old Mega Method feeder with a fruit and nut wafter, Parker Baits fruit and nut wafter on it. So they're my 3 rigs and baits. Fishing since about 20 past 9, as I say. I'm all set up now. Got my shelter up, and I'm going to get the kettle on in a moment and have a brew. So there we go. Let's see how we do. The start of 2023 retirement sessions back at Southfield. And clearly, before I forget, Happy New Year to everybody, to all the Fresh Fishing subscribers, and hope this is a successful year for you in your everyday life and, of course, your carp fishing life. So fingers crossed, it'll be a good start to 2023. Let's see. Just a further note on my baiting tactics today. I wasn't able to get any maggot yesterday, so I'm not trying maggot today again. I would have liked to have tried it at the top end here, but I wasn't able to get any yesterday due to being stuck in the house all day at home because I had somebody coming to do some work, and I had to be around. Didn't know what time they were coming, that sort of thing. So I've brought some particle. They're hemp tares and sweet corn, and I'm trying that mixed with crushed boilie, but sparingly, not too much in the boat with the bait, and we'll see how that goes. So that, yeah, just another note on the bait. Right, it's brew time. Kettle is boiling. What we like to see, nice cup of coffee, and then we'll concentrate on the lake and see what we can do. So have a quick brew now, and we'll go from there. Just an update. I've been 2 hours in now and I haven't had anything yet. Not even a knock. Nothing of interest yet. Weather-wise, just started to rain. It's quite mild today. It's going to be about 11 degrees, so conditions are good. But of course, it's January, and this time of year, bites are more few and far between on certain venues. You do hear of some where they're bagging up even in January, but that doesn't seem to happen to me on the venues that I fish. Anyway, we keep going, we keep trying. I've just reset the rods. That was in about an hour and 3/4. Similar spots, just moved them about slightly, brought them slightly closer in so that they're in deeper water, and we'll see how we go from there. Hopefully we'll get a fish or two on the bank to show you before the day is out. I reckon I'll get till 4:30, 4:45. Probably have to start packing up at about just after 4, as it gets dark at about 4:30. So there we go. We'll see how we go. Kettle's on. It's lunchtime. I'm going to have a cup of soup. It's got very, very windy in the last hour or so. Really windy. I've had to batten the hatches down. It's been that bad. But as you can see on the pond, it's not as bad as it was now, but it has been really bad. So much so I was wondering whether to carry on. At one stage, the back of my shelter was blown all over the place, but I battened down and we're fine now. So yeah, just a quick update. Had a knock on the middle rod, line bite or a knock. That's all the news I've got basically. Well, unfortunately, it's just too windy. It's 2 o'clock and I've had to pack up because things were starting to blow so badly. 35-mile-an-hour winds plus. Things were starting to take off. Well, I just managed to keep hold of my day shelter and get that down before it blew into the lake. So I've called it a day. It's a stop short session, if you like. I blanked up till this point, but conditions are just too bad. So I'm calling it a day, and I'll come back when there's better weather. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Morning, on a very frosty morning. Welcome to Southfield. I'm back after my postponement for the weather, the wind. I was here on the 12th of January on Thursday, I think it was, yeah. And I was winded off. It was very, very windy, and things started to get a bit dangerous with my day shelter, etc., and my kit. So I had to pack up early, and I was away by 2 o'clock. And I haven't been able to get out for the last over 2 weeks because all the lakes locally and, well, as far away as York, over an hour away, have been frozen for the last 2 weeks. So I'm back at Southfield today. It's very cold. It's just 0 degrees at the moment, but it's meant to get up to about 7 today. And there's a nice sunrise that you could probably see on the shots before. So we'll see how we go. I'll give it a try. I've not tried maggot at this end of the pond yet, so I'll do that. There are another 4 or 5 anglers here. Some lads that were just before me when I arrived. They were at Brafferton, and all 4 lakes were frozen there, so -2, -3 there. So they've come up to here and they're giving this a try. I wish them luck as well, because it's been very hard of late in these cold conditions. But if we're not out on the bank trying, then we're never going to catch. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say. So I'll get set up and I'll brief you on the situation later on. Right, using the maggot rig again. The one I showed you, it was a couple of months ago. It's using a pop-up, a piece of sweet corn with a size 10 hook in it, and that's used through the sweet corn to hook the maggots and then pull back into the sweet corn to hide the hook on the hair of the on the shoulder of the hook there. So I'm going to try that with a few maggots around it on 2 rigs, and I've got another rig out with a piece of floating bread. Sorry, popped up bread. It's imitation bread, and I've had a knock on that already. I just cast it out while I'm setting things up, and I've already had a knock on that. So we'll see how that one goes. Right, rig number 2 is on a lead clip with a piece of popped up fake bread. I'm thinking maggot bread, winter baits. Fish it with a few, the bread with a few bits of chopped up boilie around it, and see how that goes. I've already had a knock on that, as I said, so I'm going to get that one back out now into a spot with some boilie around it with the boat, so I can drop a few free offerings, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, quick update on where rigs are, where rods are positioned, etc. I've got my left-hand rod with a maggot rig on it and a free a handful of free offerings, basically. There are some floats on the water there, and then there's a tree to the right at the end of the lake. I've got it in the deeper water there, about, I don't know, 2 or 3 meters left, right of the floating plastic cans, and a couple of meters minus of the tree. I've then got another rig. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees in front of us. The 3rd tree in from the left, centre tree if you like, about a rod length 2 rod lengths, maybe 1.5, 2 rod lengths in from the far bank in the deeper water. I've got a lead clip there with the imitation bread and some free offerings, and then finally the very large bushy tree over to the far bank, again 2 rod lengths off, deeper water. I've got another maggot rig there with a handful of free offerings of maggot and some boilie crumb as well. That's me sorted now. I had a knock, as I said, on the imitation bread, so armed with winter baits, as it were, maggot and bread. We'll see how we do. Right, it's 11:15. Been fishing probably about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. I've had a couple of knocks on the rod with the imitation bread on it, and that's all I've had at the moment. I just had to go back to the car to get a charging lead because my phone was running out of power. And speaking to the other anglers down this side, there's four of them or 5 of them, I can't remember. Yeah, 4 of them, and they've had nothing. One guy's had a knock, a couple of knocks, that's it. So it's very slow, but we can only try. So what I'm going to do is get a cup of coffee on now. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet because I've been farting about with my rods. Firstly, getting the rigs right, and then the rod that I had the bread on, there's a snag right in the middle under that large tree, and I forgot about it. I lost a rig 2 weeks ago there, and again lost a rig this morning. Nightmare. So I've kept clear of that now. I've gone to another area which is clearer. So we'll see how we do from there. I'll get a brew on, and I'll talk to you with something on the bank, hopefully. Kettle's boiled, so here we go. Cup of coffee at last. 11:30, and it's my first cup of coffee. Well, I had one at McDonald's this morning at dark o'clock, 7:30. But there we go. I'll get this coffee brewed and down my neck. Just after 12 o'clock. Nothing so far, just knocks. I've had a couple of knocks on one rod with the imitation bread on it, and I've had a knock on my right hand rod, the maggot rig, one of the maggot rigs, but it was a couple of beeps and a knock, so it could have been small stuff. But I had to reel the rigs in when I went back to the car, and the maggots haven't been chewed, so it may have just been picked up and ejected. And it may not have been small stuff, eating the maggots, as it were, or sucking on the maggots like they do. Yeah, all quiet on the western front at the moment, and same from the guys down the lake. I've not had any reports that they've caught anything either. Hard going, but that's the way it is this time of year. Right, just coming up to 4:30. So I'm going to start packing up now slowly. I've had nothing. It's been another blank, as we've said, but I've enjoyed it. It's been the first time I've been able to get out for a couple of weeks. It's been cold, but enjoyable. Interestingly, I had a couple of knocks on the imitation bread that I tried. So it's popped up and it looks good. I tried it in the margins and it looks really good. It presents really well. So what I'm going to do next time is liquidize some sliced bread and fish it over that, either using a bait boat or a PVA mesh if I'm on a venue where I can't use a boat and I need to cast. And I think when the fish are feeding more often in the spring, etc., in the colder weather, bread's quite good. So I'll try that again. I'll also try the maggot rig again. I've yet to catch on that, even though it looks a good rig. I haven't caught anything here on it yet, but I'm going to go somewhere else next week on Tuesday, a venue where there's more chance of catching a little bit more, and I'll see if I can catch something on them then. So yeah, another Southfield blank. That elusive 20 is still elusive. All sizes are elusive today. See you again next week. It's still great to get out in my retirement sessions. It's better than going to work. So I'm still enjoying it, and I will continue to enjoy it because it's just great to get out on the bank. So all the best. See you soon. Bye bye. Good morning everybody, and welcome to another retirement session. I was out on Saturday that you'll have seen in the blog previous to this, and I decided to come out today, which is Tuesday, because the weather is better temperature wise, and it's just a bit windy, as you can probably hear, but I'm going to get my shelter up in a moment, so it'll not be too bad. Today I'm at Rising Sun, which is down in the York area, postcode of York, but it's nearer to a place called Old Walk or Linton on Ouse. It's 9:30. I've just got my my rods out, and I've decided to fish a maggot rig, a popped up bread rig, imitation bread, and then a mega method feeder with an OG Fish, Parker Baits OG Fish pop-up on it, and try and see how that goes. Now the three rigs at the moment I've got out, one, the centre rod just to the right of the island under a tree area where I know it's a good spot normally. The left-hand rod on the maggot rig I had maybe a couple of feet off the island. I had that out first, but I've already had small fish plaguing that because it's on maggot, of course, and there are a lot of smaller stuff in here. So I've put that into deeper water, sort of 3/4 of the way between here and the left-hand edge of the island. And then for the method feeder, I've gone sort of mid-lake, deeper water, to see how we go there. So that's where I'm going to try them initially. I'm going to get my shelter set up in a moment and get a brew on. I'm quite lucky actually, talking to the owner when I paid my money this morning. He said that this is the first couple of days, yesterday and today, that the lake hasn't been frozen. So it's quite good temperature wise, 9-10 degrees, and the wind clearly makes it feel a bit colder, but it's not too bad actually. And I'm hoping that because it's been frozen and there's not been too much pressure on the fish, that I might get a bonus fish or two on the bank and see how we go from there. So hoping I'll talk to you soon with some fish on the bank. Okay, it's just around 11 o'clock. I've had the rods in for an hour and a half. Had some knocks, but they were, I think, small stuff on the maggot rig. I had a knock on the method feeder rig, just one single knock, though it could have been a line bite, and that's all so far. I'm actually, as with many a session at this time of the year and during the week, I've got the whole lake to myself. There was one chap who was here for 24 hours, and he packed up at about 9 o'clock. Had a word with him as he was moving away to the car park, and he didn't get anything in his 24-hour session. So it could be hard work. It's not a bad day. It's a bit windy. It's warm enough, but it's this time of year. I've just, as you've probably seen, repositioned and redone my rods. The left-hand rod I put a little bit closer to the island. Hopefully that won't get tormented by smaller fish. That's the maggot rig. The centre rod is stayed where it is because that's imitation bred, so I just rebaited that area, and then the right hand rod on the method feeder I put back roughly in the same area as it was before where I had the knock. So let's see how we go from there. If I see any shows, I'll move my rods accordingly, but it's pretty quiet at the moment, although as I say, it's quite a nice day. Yes! 11:20, and I have a fish in the net. Picked it up on the middle rod on the imitation bread with breadcrumb for free offerings. Took me about 5 or 10 minutes to get it in the net, so I'll get things sorted out and show it to you in a moment. Okay. Just weighed the fish. It's a lovely mirror. It's exactly 16 pounds. It's my first fish of 2023, so 16 is great. There we go, 16 pound mirror, 2023 first fish. There we go. Well, better put him back in, he won't behave. Well, there we go, a 16 pounder for the first fish in 2023. That's not a bad start to the year. If I can go upwards from there, it'll be great. As I said a little bit earlier, I caught that on that imitation bread, which has popped up about, I don't know, 6 inches or so, and that was fished over a bed of breadcrumb or liquidized sliced bread basically, and I had a couple of knocks on it earlier, and then I got the run, of course, and not a bad fight either. It took me a good 10 minutes to get it into the net, and then of course I had to get everything set up to be able to weigh the fish, etc., and do the filming, and that cost me the fish recovering, of course, and he wouldn't behave himself for the film, but I'm really pleased with that. That's great. First fish of the year, as I say. Let's see if we can go up from 16 from here. I'm sure we'll get some smaller, of course, but if we can go up from 16, that will be great. Right, after all that excitement, I'm going to have a hot drink now. I think I'll have, wait for it, I think I'll have the good old Bovril. That'll warm me up, nice and tasty. Right, it's 45 minutes since I had my Bovril. That's warmed me up nicely. Kettle's on again now for my lunch, which is a good old beef and tomato pot noodle, so that'll keep me warm again. Weather's okay. It's very windy though, and that's just cooling things down, but not too bad in my shelter. So pot noodle, here we come. Update, it's almost 2 o'clock now. I've got my beanie on, as you can see, because it's cooled down somewhat. The wind has just been really fierce. It's started to ease off a little bit now, but that's cooled it down tremendously. I think it only feels like about 2 or 3 degrees. So I'm sheltering in in my shelter with mittens on and hat on and a beanie on, should I say, to keep warm. I've had nothing else since that fish. I've had a few more knocks on that same rod not too long ago as well, so I've put it back in the same area clearly, and I've just rebaited it with more breadcrumb. So hopefully we can interest some more fish from that area. The maggot rig I've had no interest in at all. From initially I had it by the island and the small fish obviously picked it up, but I pulled it off back 2 or 3 rod lengths and further to the left, and it's not been attacked by small fish in that area, but doesn't seem to be raising any interest. And the right hand rod on the method feeder in the deeper water, I had a couple of beeps on it, and that's on a pop-up OG fish as well. I had a couple of beeps on that early on in the first maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, but since then putting it back into a similar area all the time, and I've had no interest. So there we go, just the one so far, but at least perseverance, we've got one at least. I've been emptying bait containers here and there, a few pellets, a bit of breadcrumb, and that's got the cats around here, as you can see. Right, it's just coming up to 4 o'clock, so I'm going to pack up in slow time now. There's a lull in the wind, so I'm going to get the shelter down while conditions allow, and pack up slowly. I've had nothing this afternoon. I've had a couple of knocks on various rods, but nothing more than that. So yeah, it's been one of those days, but I've had that fish that I had this morning, 16-pound mirror, so I can't complain. First fish of 2023, and perseverance has worked. You know, keep at it, keep trying different methods, keep trying different baits, different rigs, and if you find the right spot, of course, then you'll catch a fish, and that's what I've done today. I put it in a known spot there where I've caught in the past, albeit I'm at a different swim, approaching it from a different side of the lake, but still a spot where I know that fish are caught, and it does help clearly if you know those spots on different venues. So yeah, just one fish for today, 16-pound mirror, first fish of 2023, and that's me. I'll probably get out next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, but the week after I won't bother, because on the Friday the 9th I'll be going away with the lads. We're off to Welland at Malton for a 48-hour session, so I won't go out that particular week before that. Probably not anyway. We'll wait and see. Weather dependent, of course, because you never know at this time of year what the weather's going to do. So there we go. Just one fish today. Perseverance has paid off. 2 sessions on Southfield, nothing. Thought I'd change the venue, thought I'd come down here and try here, and there was a chap did 24 hours before me, he caught nothing, and I put the right bait in the right spot, in a known spot where I know that there are fish, or there are fish normally in the warmer conditions, and clearly they are still there in the cooler conditions, and I've gone and caught, so that's great. So there we go. Possibly see you next week. Don't know about the week after. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you don't already, hit that subscribe button and click the alarm bell to get notifications.